Shalom Aleichem! Welcome back to the Dovid Show, where we turn dense news into digestible bites. I'm Dovid, and today's menu includes Israeli coalition pressure, US policy slaps, and Australia dropping the YouTube account ban bomb. Fresh brew tea in hand, let's roll. First up, we start with Israel, where politics are under pressure. Prime Minister Netanyahu is fast-tracking a voluntary immigration plan for Gaza residents aimed at appeasing the far-right factions, mainly Kfir and Smotrich, who are threatening to pull out of the coalition if the real movement doesn't happen. If this were a sitcom, today's episode is BB hiring moving fans. Now we go on to military moves. The IDF's Kfir Brigade recently secured control of the Magen Oz corridor in Khan Yunis, shutting down tunnels and uncovering weapons caches. No public fanfare, just steady strategic practice. Then we have Knesset Speaker Amir Ohana showed inflammatory footage at the IPU summit, triggering walkouts by the Iranian and Palestinian delegates. He then quipped, if they want a state, they can build it in London or Paris. Mic drop. Then we have Emily Damari, a former hostage, criticized UK Prime Minister Starmer's talk of recognizing a Palestinian state before hostage release. Her message: hostages first, diplomacy later. Then we go to some Washington and global headlines. U.S. sanctions on PA and PLO officials. Washington imposed travel bans and sanctions on key PA and PLO members over the ICC prosecution and alleged terror ties. U.S.-Israeli pressure is real. Then we have Governor Hochul urged better coordination between U.S. and Israeli aid channels ahead of envoy Steve Witkoff's mission, emphasizing urgency without hard politics. An incident at a kosher restaurant in Queens now involves the FBI after diners were hospitalized and allegedly subject to anti-Semitic slurs. A sharp reminder: threats aren't just overseas. Osama Krayem got a life sentence for partaking in an ISIS execution, justice delivered abroad, and a signal that accountability matters. Next we have Australia drops the social media hammer. YouTube joins the Aussie under 16 ban. Australia announced that starting December 10, 2025, children under 16 will be barred from holding YouTube accounts. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Reddit, and X already covered. YouTube was originally exempt, but now included in the social media ban. By the reversal, country's e-safety regulator found that roughly 37 to 40% of minors reported harmful content on YouTube, so educational value couldn't outweigh the risk. Implementation and enforcement. Each vacation will use reasonable steps based on estimation, biometric and email cross-checks. Government IT cannot be mandatory. Penalties of non-compliance up to Australia dollar $49.5 million, which is in US $33 million. Critics raise privacy and curiosity concerns. Media critics, digital rights activists, advocates, and even educational proponents argue that the ban could backfire by stripping logged-in YouTube's safety tools and stifling children's access to educational content. Do-it-yourself bypass culture already brewing. Teens and privacy advocates warn that this law may fuel VPN and proxy workarounds, prompting concerns about government overreach and digital surveillance. Why did the kid try subscribing to YouTube without an account? He thought the Dovid Show was only for logged-in originals. Well, that's your full briefing. Jerusalem coalition cracks, U.S. sanctions, and how one nation decided to unplug YouTube for teens. Tomorrow's Dovid Show will dive into annexation options, preview Smotrich's next political gamble, and even maybe drop a listener submission without needing age verification. Now, don't forget to follow, review, and cheer. Unless you're under 16 in Australia, stay bold, stay informed, and stay safe. Have a good day.